Hey gorgeous, this is episode number 301 and we have the brilliant Milana Leshinsky back on the show today.
Hi, this is Milana Leshinsky and you are listening to Heart Sells podcast with Christine Schlonski. Enjoy!
I was so looking forward for the next conversation with Milana. We will be talking about a brilliant way to add more value to your clients today. And I hope you really benefit from that because she has some amazing strategies she is sharing. Milana is an entrepreneur, a business strategist, and a marketing mentor to coaches, authors, and speakers. She is an author herself. She has 2 books called Coaching Millions and Simplicity Entrepreneurship. And Milana is also the creator of the telesummit. She is the creator of Group Coaching Genie, that is an online platform for designing and delivering coaching programs with ease. And in case she is not working, she writes music herself and enjoys Latin ballroom dancing. So I'm so looking forward to the next conversation with her. Let's tune right in. Well, I am so super pumped you are back, Milana. Welcome.
Thank you for having me back.
We touched a lot on the last episode about group coaching, about the opportunities to scale, to impact more people. We talked about your amazing Genie software, which I love. I love the name because that's what it is. It's like you have this little lamp and you can rub it, and then all of a sudden you have like your whole group coaching program in your back end mapped out and started in 12 to 15 minutes, and everything is organized. I just love the idea because sometimes, creating a group coaching program, delivering all these single steps, reminder emails, sending the Zoom link maybe for the live course, that can be quite an organizational challenge.
Yes. And Group Coaching Genie really allows you to have all those pieces consolidated into one place. So your clients don't have to log into multiple places and, look for this stuff in different platforms.
Yeah. I would love to touch upon, so when you transition actually from one-on-one coaching to group coaching, right? I see a lot of people who then say, well, group coaching, especially with pricing, I have to charge less. Or with group coaching, well, there are several people on the call, and if I only have one hot seat, the other people might not learn anything. Like, tell us a little bit from your perspective, what are actually the benefits, besides scaling, to teaching in a group?
Yeah. I think for me, the biggest benefit is that I'm not the only one creating the value. So the pressure is lifted off. I don't have all the answers. But when you have 8 people in a group, depending on how big your group is, you can have 8, you can have 28, and facilitate it a little differently based on the size of the group. But when you have other members in the group and you facilitate it in a way that everybody contributes to each other, it makes such a huge difference. It's a different experience. People who join group coaching programs, they actually crave being in a community, right? So there is time to do one-on-one coaching and to offer one-on-one coaching. I love working with coaches one-on-one because I get that full attention. Yeah. But I also love being in a group because I get feedback from multiple people, multiple perspectives. I get people who give me that one-on-one attention. Just it comes from group members, and you're just facilitating it as a coach, right? So there's a lot of value from that perspective. I also think people really enjoy being in a group of like-minded people. I call it an affinity group, where we really relate to each other's challenges. We value each other's experiences, and we understand each other's dreams and goals and aspirations. I remember I was coaching somebody who was working with parents of children who have autism. Imagine how much in common those parents have, how many similar challenges they can discuss with each other and compare notes and say, this is what worked for me, and this is, no, it didn't really work. And these are the challenges we're having with schools. So that affinity is a big part of why people join groups, is they want to be understood and they want to be part of a community. So you can continue offering one-on-one coaching, and you can have this other offering where it's a group coaching arrangement or group coaching program.
Yeah, I love that. And also what I noticed that when you actually teach in the group, so when you are the person running the group coaching program, even though you might just talk to one person, the other people will always get something out of it. Or they might think, oh, I haven't even thought about this. This is such a great point. Let me make sure that I'm not running into this challenge by implementing right away what was taught.
Not only that, I actually intentionally say to people, I may be coaching right now somebody else in the group, but I want you to listen really carefully, because the mindset that they're dealing with may actually be something that you are dealing with without realizing it. Or the problem that I'm helping somebody else with, you might actually be able to prevent this problem or to have a solution even before it happens. So I make sure that they expect to gain value from me coaching someone else, right?
Yeah.
So that's a big part of that.
Yeah. I love setting that expectation, because it opens up, right? It opens up the understanding and really the intention to learn more than what they came for.
Well, and the way that Group Coaching Genie makes it even easier is group members can comment on each other's progress. Wow. So if I had to comment on all of my 58 clients' weekly progress comments, I would be spending a ton of time. So what I do is I say, please be sure to post your weekly progress report and answer, the 3 questions that I present to people every week. And be sure to comment on at least 2 other people's progress notes, so that everybody gets some feedback and some support and encouragement throughout the program. And that's exciting, because I don't have to be the one to do that, and people still get value in the group. And so in Group Coaching Genie, there's a place for group members to post comments in response, and people can journal and have their journal entries shared publicly if they choose to do that, and other members can read and comment in their journals. So it makes that whole group coaching community experience much easier for you to create.
Yeah, and I just feel the connection with those people, right? It's like a little family, like a little unit where you grow together, where you cry together, where you laugh together, where you just take those steps that need to be taken to get you to the result that you desire.
Yeah, and of course it starts with you, the coach, and your personality, your passion, your coaching style. Not every coach is the same, and so if you have that personality where you can easily create a safe place for your group members, then that's how it will go on, and people will feel safe and nurtured, and most importantly, heard and seen. So there are ways to do that. It's a learned skill. There's just a few things that you have to do at the beginning of like the orientation to set expectations, to really make people feel comfortable. And if you do that with intention, then it'll work beautifully.
Yeah. I even had group members who met each other in person and sent me pictures.
Wow, I've had the same thing happen. Actually, my group members who were working on their virtual summit together, they met in Sweden, of all places, took a picture, and I had somebody also go out for a cup of coffee in New York and send me a picture. There's definitely that sense of community where people feel like they relate to each other's challenges.
Yeah, I love that.
But, Christine, I think that a lot of people are a little bit overwhelmed and intimidated by the idea of starting a group coaching program. Because if you think about it, there's 2 issues. You have to create a coaching program and you have to fill your group. And that feels a little intimidating if you've never done that before. So what I actually suggest is that you start by creating a program. Create a coaching program first. and maybe even create it with your individual clients in mind. I remember when I hired a media coach to help me get on TV and be ready for radio interviews. And I remember thinking, wow, she's actually walking me through a program. She's sending me, okay, Milana, watch this video, and then we'll talk about it on our coaching call. And the next week she would send me like a worksheet. Okay, fill out this worksheet, we'll talk about it next week. So she developed a program for coaching me. And guess what she does now? She now runs groups based on the same program.
Yeah,
and I thought that was
awesome.
Brilliant.
Yes, yeah, totally. So what about the myth that for coaching programs, you need to make them cheap, or you can't charge so much because it's a group?
Yeah, well, I think it depends on the topic and on your niche and the outcome that people will expect. Obviously, and I think this has been your experience as well, if your topic is more business related, where you are going to increase your revenue because you take this program, then you can charge more. And if you take a program on life related issues like stress or parenting, health and wellness, typically those are less expensive. There are some exceptions. For example, if you have a big name and you're well known in your industry, then you can charge more regardless of your topic. Or if you have a really proven method, you can charge more as well. You can also base your price points on the fact around where your program fits in your overall business. For example, when you buy a $97 toolkit and then you see an upsell and they're trying to upsell you into a $1,000 program, well, then you can see why a $97 toolkit is only $97 because there's an upsell, right? So you might sell a program for $1,000 and then invite people into your $10,000 coaching program, right? But to answer your question, I think that is one of the benefits, that group coaching is more affordable, right? So if I had to work with a client one-on-one to deliver the same program I just sold for $1,000, I would probably charge easily 15 grand.
Yeah.
Because more access to you, more individualized attention, more personalization, right? So, and not everybody can afford a $15,000 program. So they will be so excited that you are offering it in a group format and they only have to pay $1,000 or $2,000.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. I just sometimes feel that people think all of a sudden because they put a group together, they have to lower the price. And I just believe if you create the great value and you're set on your price, you don't have to lower your price just because you're getting together 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 people. If they get what they came for, right? And if they feel it's a win-win, you market it in a right way, you don't need to say, well, because it is group, I have to go down.
You don't have to. Usually it is the case though. Usually the advantage for the client is that they get to pay a little less. But also there's another little thing here to keep in mind. When you have a group coaching program, you can actually raise your private coaching fees because now you have something to compare it with. If you're charging, let's say, $2,000 for your coaching services, and $2,000 might buy, let's say, 3 months of coaching privately with you, right? That's a typical coaching fee. We get 3 months of coaching, $2,000. That's about $700 a month. Most coaches are comfortable charging that. And now you have a coaching program. And your coaching program now sells for $1,000. The same material, the same system that you are taking people through. So now you can actually charge $5,000 for your private coaching, right? To create that bigger gap in pricing. And I know you are an expert on sales. So I know you have your own experiences with what happens. But I think it's pretty safe to say that when you have a product of your own, whether it's a coaching program or a book, your rates go up simply because now you have a higher level of authority.
Yeah.
You're not just a coach anymore. You're not just somebody who does coaching. You're now an expert who delivers programs, and therefore you can charge more money for working with you one-on-one.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I think at the end of the day, it's always what do you deliver, what get people out of it, and then this needs to be in relation.
And it also depends, like you were saying, Christine, depends on how you market it, how you sell it. If you do it through discovery sessions, it's easier to charge more because you make that personal connection. You take the time to connect with the potential client. In my experience, when you offer that program online through a webinar, through a series of videos or emails, typically the price point, the sweet spot price point is $1,000 to $2,000.
Yeah.
If you want to charge more than that, then you will most likely have to offer discovery sessions and talk to the potential clients to find out if it's a good fit for them and actually do the heart-centered sales at that point.
Yeah, that's also what I have seen in the market, that up to $2,000 people are comfortable to invest that money without talking to someone on your team or yourself. That's a good price range. So let's talk about creating the group coaching program. So when you say creating before you are selling it, do you mean like map it out to the T, or do you mean have the modules define, know what comes into the modules, but don't yet, record the videos?
And that's a great question because I definitely teach people to sell it and then create it. But if you've never created a coaching program, it may be super scary for you to sell something that you don't even know how to create yet. So what I like to guide my clients through is developing an outline. Develop an outline and maybe complete your first module. And that's it. Because when you sell it, at that point, most people will deliver their program every week. You'll have a whole week to create the next module and to get ahead, right? So what I like to do is before I sell the program, I like to have a welcome page. And on that welcome page, I'll have, a couple of things that they can get started with. Maybe it's that getting started video. Maybe it's the first module. So I have a program on virtual summits. And as soon as people buy, the very first thing I know they're craving is, so what am I going to create a summit about? And so the very first thing I give them is a video from my first module that's called Choose a Theme for Your Summit, or Discover a Theme for Your Summit. The video is only 9 minutes, but it gives them that immediate gratification. Now they can start thinking about it. And then I invite people to, post their first introductory journal entry, or if I'm using Facebook groups at the same time because you are absolutely, you can continue using Facebook groups for social purposes, for chit chat and social connecting. You can just invite people to introduce themselves, right? Yeah. And I always use a Facebook group in addition to Group Coaching Genie because people like to socialize. But once they're on Facebook, they're also distracted. They can never find any assignments. This way, I can just point them back to Group Coaching Genie. Just log into your account. This is where all your stuff is, all your homework, all your modules, all your replays, all your emails and schedule. Everything is there. But if you want to socialize, go to Facebook. And so that's kind of how people have been using it as well.
Yeah, I love that you pointed that out. And that was actually where I wanted to go. And I kind of knew that you would give this advice because I've seen in the past that people have invested so much money in creating a whole program, in recording all the videos, maybe even in a professional studio, and then they didn't sell it.
Yeah, that's
right.
Definitely a reason to sell first.
Yeah, definitely. And I also teach my clients to map it out, get really clear what the modules entail or what the result is your client walks away with. and then just create it from module to module. And depending on the group, sometimes you can adjust a little bit, right? Sometimes a group needs a specific thing that the group before didn't need. So you can put it in and leave something else out that's not that important to them. And you can walk that journey with them.
And this is especially important when this is your first time delivering your coaching program. In fact, content creation is one of the biggest obstacles for people. This is why they don't create programs. And so I say, forget content. Just teach something every week for 10 minutes in a video format. Go through the, like 3 teaching points. That's all. And then get on a call. And as you're delivering these group coaching calls live, people ask you questions. People share their fears. You experience resistance. And from that, you can enhance your program by creating more content, by creating more tools. So don't obsess over getting your program content created before you even start talking about it to your audience. Allow yourself to create nuggets of information for each week, and then it'll expand organically through people asking you for more help on certain things, right?
Yeah, totally. So do you remember the very first thing that you ever sold in your life?
I do. And not only that, I remember for how much and the customer's name.
Let us hear.
Yes, the very first thing I sold was an ebook that I wrote. I took 3 months to write it. And every page that I wrote, I would tell my husband that I finished another page today. And he would be like laying in his bed and saying, just show me the money. And then I did. And then my first customer was Andrew Smith. He paid me $39 for an ebook called Create Your First Business Website in 10 Days. That was my first product, first sale, first customer.
Awesome. Congratulations, Andrew Smith, for getting this amazing product. Right. And so was there anything you sold before as a child, or like the very first memory you have of doing or exchanging something for money?
Oh, that's a great question. So I come from the Ukraine, and I was a classical musician. There was no proprietorship. There's no entrepreneurship in the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think I actually exchanged anything for money or for no money. Well, I collected calendars, little calendars, calendar cards. So that was more collecting, and we traded. But the first time I actually experienced doing something and getting money for it was piano lessons in America.
Wow.
I would charge $6 for a piano lesson because I could hardly speak any English. And here's a teacher from Russia who doesn't speak English, but she's from Russia. She must be a good piano teacher, right? So that was my first entrepreneurial venture. And then I started creating hat magnets. I was just fascinated by the fact that here's some raw materials, and I could assemble little magnets in the shape of hats, and I could return them all back to the company, and they would send me back money. The only problem was that those hats would get disassembled on the way there, and I didn't get any money. So that was a disappointment. But I guess I've always been a little drawn to entrepreneurial ventures, for sure.
Yeah, and you just have a new one, like coming from the world we're living on right now, being locked up at home.
Oh gosh, yes.
You started a new online store with hand-painted stones, and they're so beautiful.
They're totally beautiful. Can I actually say the name?
Yes, please.
Yes. So I wanted my stones to evoke emotion. I wanted people to hold a stone in their hand and to feel something. Yeah. So I gave it a name that's very funny. It's called feelmyrocks.com.
I love it. I'm going to put a link in the resource tab because I think people have to check it out. They're so pretty.
You. And they are pretty. And what's amazing is that I never painted in my life before. I always carried an image of myself as Milana cannot draw. Milana cannot paint, not an artist. And
Milana cannot dance.
oh, that's another one. Yes. Yes. But I love the rock painting because it's therapeutic, it's meditative, and it's also very tangible.
Yeah.
I always had a problem selling ebooks because they're so intangible. It's just a file download, right? Or a coaching program. It's just videos on the machine, bits and bytes. But rocks, you can hold it in your hands and you can gift it to people, and it feels amazing. So I do hope that people check it out because each rock is unique.
Yes.
Once I sell it, I cannot replicate it because simply cannot. Like I cannot.
Okay, it's not scalable, hands down. It's not
scalable. No.
But it doesn't need to be because you get the freedom created on the other business. So I just love that. So again, I want to invite you guys, hop on over to the show notes page, and there are all the links that connect to Milana. Make sure you connect with her and her amazing work. Definitely check out her beautiful hand-painted stones. And if you are a little bit business-minded, which I think you are, that's why you are listening in, you need to have a look at the Genie webinar to have a demo on how her program works. And just take us through real quick to wrap this up. Like, what is the value that when people create the programs in your software that they save so much time and money at the end? Like, what are they getting?
They're getting a sense of complete control over their coaching business and their coaching programs. A lot of times, coaches need to hire a virtual assistant and pay them for every little change that they need to make in their programs and their emails because software is complex. So my biggest core value in life and in business is simplicity. So the software is extremely simple. It's very easy to use. So easy that as a coach, you have complete control over all of your programs, content, emails, clients at your fingertips. So it's super simple. It saves you a lot of time, simplifies, automates your business in ways that you didn't imagine that it's possible to do that. And it just makes you super organized. Everything is in one place. And when you watch the demo, the free demo that Christine, you're going to link people to, you are also going to learn the 9 keys of highly effective group coaching programs. We talked about one of them today, and that's affinity. There's 8 more. There's 8 more things that you want to deliver in your group coaching programs in order to provide your clients with great results, and also re-enrollment, retention, reputation, all of those wonderful things that you want as a coach in order to grow your revenue.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Well, I think this just gives us space for another conversation sometime. Thank you so much, Milana. I had so much fun. This is such great content. Thank you for being on Hard Sells today.
Thank you so much for having me, Christine. It was super fun, and I loved all your questions. I hope your audience will find this useful, and I look forward to hearing from everybody.
Thank you so much. I don't know about you, gorgeous, but I'm just amazed of the path that Milana has taken from classical musician, selling single hours of piano lessons to building a $7 million coaching business. And I just think that's such an inspiration. So no matter where you are, you can always walk on a different path. You can always make a new decision. I hope you've gotten so much out of this. Hop on over to ChristineSchlonski.com, find the show notes, the transcripts, the resources we talked about, as well as all the links that connect you to Milana. And I highly recommend checking out her wonderful work and dive into deeper. Make sure you connect with her. And once you're over there, at ChristineSchlonski.com, also sign up for the empowerment notes. That is empowerment right into your inbox, where I share things I usually do not share on social media, where you will learn strategy, tools, where I will give you inspiration and motivation so that you can grow your business with heart and from the heart, because heart sells. Pretty simple. So thank you so much for having been here. Have an amazing day wherever you are in this beautiful world. And I'm saying bye for now.